Hi, and welcome to the Field Report. This is a brief that we're reporting the news of the Benghazi hearings that is currently taking place in Washington, D.C. A lot of points to make in the first part of the briefing with U.S. diplomats that were been called to this hearing. Right now, we're waiting to hear more from Gregory Hicks, who was the first actual witness to be testified before the Benghazi hearings. We're going to point out some things later into some of the discussions coming in the next days and ahead. One point to be made about Gregory Hicks, who was the contact from Tripoli. He spoke to Ambassador Stevens, originally the one to alert Ambassador Stevens that the compound over in Cairo was attacked and they were tearing down the flag. There was a lot of emotions described and many points to make how emotional this experience was for Gregory Hicks, who was a diplomat who worked with Ambassador Stevens at the Benghazi embassy and also the annex that was nearby. So it's going to be interesting how this is all going to play out. Some other points to be made that are also going to be worth discussing is after all night of shooting, Lieutenant Gibson, who had to go through great lengths to round up the troops that were left over from Tripoli over at Benghazi, secure the area, and enough window of time to get them to the airport. And obviously this was a very difficult task because they had been fighting all night at Benghazi. That when the news came to Lieutenant Colonel Gibson that they were not authorized to leave the airport, this infuriated them because they went through all the trouble. And believe me, this sounds very, very complicated, but as we hear more testimony, it'll be interesting why they weren't moved so quickly and why things moved so slowly that night. Because to deny them to authorize to leave when they only had a short window of time to leave is going to be an interesting. It's going to be interesting to hear about more that'll be discussed and who gave that authorization that they couldn't move quicker, and a lot more ahead here for the field report debrief later on today. We're going to hear more on the testimony here in the Benghazi hearings. We'll be back for more as they're going to resume more testimony, and we should hear some interesting points to be made about the Benghazi hearings. So let's get back to the hearings and we'll talk more about other specifics. Thanks for listening here at the Field Report Brief and Debrief.